How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your Ginger Geordie Geek. Welcome back to the channel for another Saturday Night Live. And tonight I am joined by some of my best buds on YouTube. We've got Luke from Hydra Collectibles. How are you, Luke?
I'm very good, thank you. Really glad to be back because we were absent last week.
Yeah, because we were at a con, so I had to miss last week, but back at full force this week. So yeah, nice to see you. Got lots to talk about tonight, so looking forward to hearing from you in a bit. We've got my good bud, James T. How are you, James?
Heyo, what's up?
Ew, indeed. Are you well?
I'm very good, man. All is well.
You've taken your dressing gown off.
Yeah, I got an awful slagging about it. There's some bullying going on behind the scenes about my Batman dressing gown. So I said I'll freeze then. How about that?
It was very fetching, mate. It was very fetching.
Yeah.
Don't let, let's be honest, I'll whisper. Don't let Jason fucking Parker upset you with his bullying, right? It was lovely. It was lovely. Speaking of Jason Parker, we have got Jason on the show. And Jason, your first night on Saturday Night Live, I think. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a while, isn't it? But let's give it a go, see what this is all about. Let's see what the fuss is about. Looking forward to it.
Good stuff, mate. And we've got, again, somebody I met last weekend in real life for the first time, James Mack. How are you, James?
I'm very well, Pete. It's I'm very honoured to be here this evening on a Saturday night live.
I'm honoured for you guys to be joined. Thank you so much for coming along, guys. And as ever, we've got our favourite American, Efren. How are you, Efren?
What is going on, comic book familia? The guys above me, I love seeing you all the time, but it's been a while since I've talked to James Mack and Jason. So I love seeing you guys also, man. Can't wait to get this show started. Yep.
Good stuff, Efren. It's always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Okay, right, guys, before we crack on, because we've got lots to get through, just want to quickly jump to the chat, see who we've got. We have got, as ever, good old StreamYard. Thank you for joining. We have got Fuzzy, the main man, Fuzzy of the Dunlop. Always a pleasure to see you, Fuzzy. And I have to say, sorry, just jumping back to good old Fuzzy here. Fuzzy's been superb this week with sending me little tidbits of information and news articles he's spotted for to chat about. So we've got some juicy stuff that's come from Fuzzy's eagle eyes. So thank you for that, Fuzzy. We've got Jason Parker in the chat as well. Superb. We've got ABZ. Nice to see you, my friend. Hope you are well. We've got Dr. Von Hoot. Thank you very much, Dr. Von Hoot, for joining. We've got Bat Dan. Always nice to see you. And we've got Sean Hogan. Lovely to see you, Sean. We've got my pal Terry. Nice to see you, dead man. Hope you are well, my friend. And we've got Andrew Kai. Always nice to see you. And we've got Fuzzy saying it's a double dang it night. It certainly is, mate. It certainly is a double dang it. Good stuff. Okay, chaps. Right. So, for those of you that haven't been on the show before, what we're going to do is basically chuck through some bits and bobs of news and just get everybody's thoughts and views on some of the different bits and bobs that have come into the geeky news this week. So we're going to start off with a bit of MCU news, and I'm interested in your thoughts on this. So this has come out as being published in an official Marvel timeline book that they've written within the Marvel timeline that Wanda died during Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and it's been put down as a major character death symbol, indicating that she is definitely dead. I do apologise. This is going to happen all night for those that haven't been on the show. I keep my eye on the chat as well, and Fuzzy keeps making us laugh. So Fuzzy's just asking if Jason's shrank. Jason was getting all upset before he came on air, trying to make sure he didn't look like a little hobbit. But it's been spotted, Jason. That's a shame. That's a shame.
God, bloody hell.
So, guys, what do you think about this? Has this come as a surprise to anybody? Because that's nice, Jason. I like that. I don't know. I've assumed she was coming back in Secret Wars. Anybody got any thoughts on this?
She will come back. Like, whether she was actually killed in that or not, there's a multiverse, so another version, or resurrection, it's a witchcraft kind of character. So there's a million and one ways you could bring her back, even if that was her actually dying. So I don't think it really matters in the end.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what I was thinking, to be honest, James. Anybody else? Any thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I've been saying from the beginning, like since Endgame, that everything thereafter has been set in a different universe. So that version might be dead. And this is just all the splintering of the different universes that we're seeing in each of these films. So I don't believe I don't believe we're still watching our universe playing out in each of these films. I think each one is their own unique individual setting.
Yeah.
That would explain why all the subsequent films have been shit.
Yeah.
No, perhaps.
Explains why they've been so bad, and it explains why there isn't much crossover between the two. Like, obviously, so Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness does actually say about the events of No Way Home, so you can kind of see that might be a smaller branch. But as they get bigger and bigger, like the Eternals, how many years ago was that film, and no one still mentioned it. No one's going on about that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point that, we've had that bloody great celestial sticking out of the earth and it's not been referenced at all, has it?
There was a newspaper
was a
clipping
reference.
in one of the shows. Or
Oh, was
like
it?
that. Yeah.
There was like a
Wasn't that
reference
only
to
in the
Hamlet, wasn't
trailer
there?
and then it got removed? I don't think
No, I
it appeared
don't know.
in the show itself, wasn't it?
That was
No,
it. It was
might
like one
be-
of the
I might be
HBO
wrong.
No, HBO. One of the Disney Plus shows of that. Moonlight
Yeah.
or something.
I can't remember that.
But I think
Disney-
I think with Scarlet Witch, how much more have you got to play out with her? Really, she's been through pretty much everything. Come back from everything, only to turn evil again, and then only to come good again, kind of. So
She's had a kind of a hero arc, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Ephraim, what were you going to say, mate?
Just like the comic books, they keep on bringing back these characters. If Disney has if they want to make money, they're going to bring back Scarlet Witch and Iron Man and Captain America. That's what everybody wants to see.
Yeah. I tend to think, we've talked about this before, haven't we, that things haven't really taken off as they'd hoped, I think, since Endgame. So I think they will pull a lot of characters back by the next big event movie, I guess you'd say. Well, by lunchtime, thank you very much for joining, my friend. Always nice to see you. I knew that dodgy kebab would come in. Good stuff. 4 a.m. where you are. Bloody hell, mate. And then, we're going to touch on this, ABZ. Anything goes if you're watching Loki. I've got a slide about this later on because I know most of you guys have been watching Loki. It's not doing it for us, I have to say, but we'll talk about it later on. Did any of you guys catch this movie? This was the Sylvester Stallone movie. I think it was called The Savior or something like that?
It was called The Samaritan, wasn't it?
The Samaritan, sorry. Yeah, The Samaritan. So this is now being confirmed that Sylvester Stallone is going to be appearing in the second one. So they're going to make a follow-on to the first one. I didn't think the first one was that bad, to be honest. Any of you guys excited for this? Who saw it? Anybody see it?
I saw it.
No, but didn't see it.
It was all
He's
right. Yeah, it was. It's on. I think it's on Amazon. If anybody wants to watch it, it's a pretty generic superhero tale with a bit of a twist at the end, but the kind of twist that you kind of see coming a mile down the line,
Nice.
kind of thing. Ephraim, what did you think of it?
Just like yourself. I enjoyed it. It was something to watch. It wasn't like the best movie ever, but I thought it was entertaining. So if they're gonna make a second one, you like to see the further development of this character, so to speak.
Yeah, I can't say I'm particularly excited about watching a sequel. It's not something that really is got us hyper. Werewolf by lunchtime saying, why watch crappy shows when there are so many great comics? That's a good point, mate. That's a good point. There are some superb stories out there, and I think we've talked before about how much more fun it would be if they just converted some of those original tales into actual shows instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. Fuzzy, Sean saying he doesn't mind the show. Fuzzy saying he's sick of seeing Wanda at the same time with the Agatha show. It's gone on so long, I've lost interest now. Yeah, I'm not exactly excited for Agatha. Any of you guys hyper for Agatha? He's looking forward to that one?
No.
Yeah.
It's another non-character for me, really.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
too
think-
sure that she would have got a show if it wasn't for everyone hyping up on the internet about that stupid song reference that was in the WandaVision thing. Like, I
Don't
think
you
it's
dare
just
call it stupid. Agatha All Along is a modern masterpiece, and I hope that's the theme song of the show.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, James.
I was going to say for us comic book nerds watching it, we all knew that she was Agatha Harkness prior to the show being premiered. So, but for it, I mean, for me, I was so pissed off when it wasn't Mephisto. But if anyone's seen that, it's Sacha.
Did that have anything to do with-
has been cast as Mephisto? Was that?
Did that have anything to do with you buying any books near the time, James?
Maybe. Maybe.
James, I sold my book.
Did you?
I sold it during the hype, and then it didn't play out. So I'm
Yeah, I mean-
sorry for the person that bought it.
To sell it.
You're right, James. I think what you call him, Borat. What's his real name again?
Sacha
Cohen?
Baron
Sacha
Cohen,
Baron
is it?
Cohen.
Yeah, he's been linked to Mephisto. You know what? I don't know how I feel about the Agatha series. I would be interested if it's going to be kind of like a multiversal Tales kind of thing, almost like a live action What If would be interesting.
So no, I want it to be like because we were watching Werewolf by Night in color a few nights ago, and we were only talking about I want more of this spooky horror stuff. So I hope it really leans into that, the witchcraft and the there's some Salem stuff in there and all that.
It's my understanding, and I might be wrong, that the reason we got the Werewolf by Night in colour was because they hadn't managed to film and finish off doing something else. So maybe it was all lined up to be a reveal of Mephisto or another horror character, but given the actors' strike, the writers' strike, everything else that happened, they've just said, right, that's not going to happen this year, move on.
Yeah.
And I feel like that Werewolf by Night in colour was just like something they could pull out the bag and do quickly.
Maybe. Interesting, but I think you're right, James. I'd like to see more stuff in the spooky kind of Disney field, because they've got some fantastic characters. I know, Jason, I know you're a big horror fan in terms of the comic book characters. I'd love to see a Dracula or, flesh out the Werewolf
I think
by
we
Night.
spoke about it 12 months ago, didn't we, when we first saw Werewolf by Night, and how we would like to see this thing every year play out, whether it's going to be Frankenstein or Dracula. It's the old sort of Universal monsters in a way as well, wasn't it? I know, but obviously in the Marvel license, but doesn't seem to have happened, does it? What was there going to be a special this year? No.
The talks hadn't they, about there being a Nova special. That was hinted at multiple times, but it just never seemed to. Nothing transpired, which is
The ones that were, I
disappointing.
think, like officially were happening was there was a Wakanda one. I think that would have been like Okoye or something. And then there was one about the 10 Rings after Shang-Chi, where the sister took it over.
Yeah, but both of
then,
those
like,
movies
I kind of want to
set
see
the world alight.
I want to see new things with it. That's why I thought Werewolf by Night was so exciting. It's a whole new area to explore.
Do you remember with Moon Knight that we all thought that Ethan Hawke was going to be like Dracula or something like that?
Yeah.
Massively let down.
Yeah.
I think, for me, the Marvel, I mean, we've talked about it before, but the Marvel Special Edition featurette, we've had Werewolf by Night and then we had Guardians. That was labelled as the Christmas special was a featurette, wasn't it? It's just such an ideal kind of format to give you more obscure characters, like your Novas, like, whoever you want. And it just feels like it's fallen flat on its face a little bit. It's strange. It's strange. It's a shame.
Well, didn't Kevin Feige say they are pulling back the reins on making new shows or movies? They're not going to come out as much as they were previously. So I think that may be a good thing because they realize that they're not doing as well as they have done in the past.
We're 2 for 2 on special
Absolutely.
presentations, though. They've both been incredible. So,
Yeah.
I think that it's the Disney Plus shows really in some of the movies that have been kind of...
Yeah, I think, I think everything you bang on. I think, James, you are as well. I think for me, you could bin some of the 6-7 episode series and just give us a couple of special features each year. I'd be happy with that. Good storytelling, that's all I want. It's not a lot, do you know what I mean? A decent story. Just before we move on, guys, we've got Arissa Jack here. Hello, everybody. Just want to say a happy Halloween to everyone. Nice to see you, Arissa Jack. I hope you're all well, my friend. Hope you're all well. Fuzzy, Kevy Fergie says, whatever people want to hear nowadays. Yeah, I think you're probably right, mate. I think you're probably right. I think he's just trying to play the game, isn't he?
I think it probably all pans on how the Marvels are going to do. Because if that really, really pans, then they'll have to think, well, people want to see Robert Downey Jr. They want to see Chris Evans. They don't want to see...
I mean, I think you're right, James. We're going to touch on the Marvels in a little bit, but I think we're already at that stage. I think Marvel's down that route already. I think they've opened their eyes and thought, shit, we're not getting in the return and we're not getting the positivity anymore. There's a lot of negativity about Marvel stuff. So well,
even
lunchtime.
There's a lot of negativity, not just like in the fandom, but also within the people in the industry. I mean, Matthew Vaughan's chimed in now, isn't he? Mm-hmm. And he said that, again, that there's the visual effects have suffered because of the fact that there's too many shows being done.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I mean, someone of his stature, and he directs some amazing films.
Yeah.
And, it's just Scorsese. You've got to start listening to these people, really.
Yeah.
It's that classic old saying, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Do you know what? I mean, that's a great, Marvel's had its absolute meteoric rise to popularity and stuff, and we are, I think, on a downward trend at the moment. Sadly, just want to quickly touch on this from Werewolf by Night. DC are sitting on a gold mine that could make a House of Secrets, a House of Mystery TV show, half-hour horror. I would love that. I'm a massive fan of that kind of anthology storytelling. But also, I think you're absolutely right. DC has got some of the world's most recognisable characters in Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, you know, other members of the JLA, and I just don't understand why they're not getting it right. Because they're sitting on some of the biggest characters out there. Luke, James, anything you want to add on this before we move on? Because I noticed you were
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think this was always the plan for Marvel after Endgame, just to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And the whole idea of having the Secret Wars at the end would be for the reset. So I just think they didn't realize it was gonna hit so hard and so bad with fans. Like, I think this was always their plan to see what they could do next. And I think what comes after Secret Wars will be loads better and much more thought out than this. But I do think this was their initial plan to begin with. And yeah, it's just unfortunate that it's throwing a lot of people off.
You know what? I think you're right, because I think, you know, I take my hat off to Marvel a little bit, because I think they've been quite brave with some of the shows they've put out and the movies they've put out in terms of characters. But I think you're right. I think Secret Wars is kind of the get out clause, isn't it? If it didn't work, we can scrap it all. If it does work, we'll keep what's there. James, Efren, anything you want to add before we move on?
No, just fingers crossed. See what happens.
Yeah, man, I think you're right. Yeah. Fuzzy's just saying here, Matthew Vaughn wouldn't say anything if he to do the Avengers film though. Yeah, if you wanted to do the Avengers, he definitely would. You're right, mate.
Did you hear what
Brian,
he said about Star Wars?
Nice to see you, mate, Brian. No, what did he say about Star Wars?
He wants to do a Star Wars remake.
Oh, yes, I did say that. He wants to recast everything.
He said recast everybody. He said it needs to be about Skywalkers, and it needs to be like.
Didn't you say this last week, James? I'm sure you were talking about this last week.
I only heard this today, so.
Okay, it wasn't you. Somebody else said.
Yeah, I think for me, not to get into depth of it, but Star Wars, we need to move away from the Skywalkers. I'm sick of the bloody Skywalkers.
Yeah, exactly.
Give us something fresh.
How good Andor was. You know.
Yeah. Oh God, Andor. Yeah, Andor. Werewolf by Night. Marvel had no plan. Look at Thor 4.
Terrible.
Read something today saying that they're starting with production of Thor 5. But I can't imagine.
Good luck with no actors.
Yeah.
You know?
Efren, you've recently been to Disney. Tell me a little bit about this, mate.
Last Wednesday, my daughter and myself, we went to Disney. I've never been to Disneyland during Halloween, so I just wanted to see all the festivities, all the setups and everything like that. And we had a fantastic time. I know everybody doesn't live near Southern California like I do, but if you ever have a chance to go during Halloween, it was well worth it. We also went to California Adventure, which is the top picture you see of looks like the Golden Gate Bridge and a Ferris wheel and a roller coaster. My daughter, myself, and we just had a fantastic time. You know, we got there like about right when it opened up at 8 o'clock, and we stayed till about 10, 11 o'clock at night. We spent the whole day there. And one thing that really helped, they have the fast track passes. That helped out immensely. The most we waited in line for any ride there was less than a half an hour. And, you know, we just did it all. You know, we went back and forth to both parks, you know, and it helps when your daughter's older. It's not a little kid, you know, you have to carry them around. So we had a fantastic time, you know. And that picture in the middle bottom is the Haunted Mansion. You know, they set it up. It was fantastic with Nightmare. What was that movie, Nightmare Before Christmas or that movie? They had set up inside of that. And I think I did post a reel on it on Instagram. You know, I was posting the whole day. Fantastic time.
And were you brave enough to go into the Haunted Mansion?
Oh, yeah. You know, since I've been hanging out with you guys, and I've been getting more and more used to watching scary movies and TV, so it has eased my fear of those type of shows. I'm still watching From, that show. I'm on the second season, so yeah.
From Jason, I know you're a huge horror fan. Have you watched From?
Yeah, From, amazing, season 1 and 2. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, love it. Creepy as anything.
Yeah,
really frightening.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Efren, I'm so pleased you had a nice time, and those photos are superb, mate. Disney, I know a few of you guys have been to Disney. Anybody Jason, you've definitely been. James, I know you have as well, haven't you? One of my favourite places on earth. I have to say, it's superb. And I loved. I was probably too young to remember it, but I did Disney Halloween when I was probably 13 or something like that. And you guys over in America just go crackers for Halloween, don't you? It was insane. Disney,
Big
absolutely
event.
insane.
I was telling my daughter the very first time my parents took me to Disneyland. They used to have these little tickets that you have to give them to each ride. You know, like green tickets and blue colored tickets. That's the way they did it back in the day. You know, it was a black and white back then. You know, but it was fun. It was a blast. I want to go again. I'm thinking of getting like a Southern California annual pass. You know, so
nice.
It's really enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I love the place. I absolutely love the place. I'd like to go again soon, I think, to be honest. Universal is tremendous as well. Luke, I'm not sure, have you been to Disney before?
I haven't been to either. I haven't been to Disney or have I been to Universal. And to be honest, I'm not sure which one I would prefer to do or whether or not I'd try to do both. Given the things that I love, I'm leaning more towards Universal, honestly. But again, the kids would want Disney.
Yeah, I guess for me, having done it a couple of times now, I think it lessens the magic, if you know what I mean. But Disney in particular was spectacular for that family feel and all the rest of it. But all of the properties are like, all right, Universal. Saying that, mind, Disney Islands of Adventure now has got all the Avatar stuff, and that is out of this world. It's it's phenomenal. Jason, you've been a couple of times, I think, haven't you?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I've probably been about 14 or 15 times.
Yeah.
But for me, I never get bored of Disney. You feel like you're in a different place. Everyone's so nice and friendly, and I know you're paying them to be nice and friendly technically, but I love being in that bubble, and people can't do enough for you. Everyone's smiling, everyone's happy. And I just love it. I'm going back there next year, actually, with my brother.
I changed my mind. I don't want to go. I don't like happy
people. We're going for 18 or 19 days, I think. We want to do more than 2 weeks, but not 3 weeks. I don't think my brother can put up with me for 3 weeks. So, but he's got like these DVC points, so which is Disney Vacation Club. So it's timeshare. And luckily, when he said to me that when we go, so it'll be Amanda, myself, and Gareth and Steph, his wife, both really lovely people, just as well. But we're not actually sharing a room together. We'll have our own villas.
Yeah.
So it's great, So a lot of the time we'll be doing stuff together, but a lot of the time we'll be just going off and doing our own thing as well, which is cool. Yeah,
it's good to have that bit. So every time we've gone with either my parents, or last year we went with some friends of the family, and it is nice to have that bit of space. But I'm just thinking about what you're saying there, Jason, about paying people to be happy. And the couple of years ago when we went with the kids, we did Disney, and it's a marked kind of pleasantness when you're there, isn't it? Everybody is very happy to see and bubbly and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
Absolutely.
And then we did a day trip to Legoland, which was however far away it was. Christ, you felt it the second you walked in. The entire feeling and atmosphere was just absolute. And in fact, I'd go as far as to say quite rude. Some of the staff, it was just such a different experience. Okay, guys. Anybody else?
Because I'm going in September next year. I'm going to Universal. I'm doing the Halloween Horror Nights. So I'm going to visit the houses. And this year, I think they've got The Exorcist, Chucky, Last of Us.
Last of Us,
I think there's about 10 or 12 different houses. So I'll be going along there and grabbing my pants a little bit.
Yeah. As long as it's just your pants, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Brian is saying that we can all have free tickets. Superb. Thank you very much, Brian. We'll get you up with that, mate. Fuzzy, Luke would start a scrap with Mickey for their streaming practices. Absolutely. But think of the content. Of filming that. Before we move off from Disney, anything anybody else wants to jump in on before we move on?
I've been to both Universal and in LA and Florida. The one in Florida is a lot better. It's just bigger. These are a lot more rides. It seemed a lot more fun, than the one in LA. Just my opinion.
Florida's my kind of in my little brain. That's my retirement home. Moving to somewhere like Florida and just chilling. Yeah, there's
Just like a
lovely
wrestler.
little
That's what they all do,
just like-
isn't it?
Yeah, I could do that. There's a lovely
All
place. I don't know if
wrestlers
you've been, Jason, next to in Orlando called Celebration. Little
Yeah.
town called
Yeah, fantastic.
Could just live there.
Expensive.
Okay, right, gentlemen. I'm going to come to me and James T have spoken about this before. Jason and James, going to ask you just briefly to touch a little bit about your con experiences last week. I'll start off by just saying it was fantastic to finally meet you in real life, and of course Amanda. It was just a lovely, lovely experience. So pleased to have finally met you all. So what did you guys think of the con overall?
I loved it. James, he's still on mute.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I just it was made all the more profound for obviously doing it with you guys, for me personally. But I wish that I'd probably delve a bit more into the experience like the other James did. Like just seeing his, like from Peter's video, his face, it was like a kid in a sweet shop.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we don't go into details on the video, but he did have to go and change his pants. I'm just saying.
I had to stand back from the poster. I bet. Or you would.
Yeah.
The thing is, James paid to meet his heroes, whereas I met you guys for free. So
Oh, nice.
Bless.
I like that. I like that.
You've been sitting on that a week now, I think.
yeah, take your diamond pass, mate.
Yeah, but it was a good con, wasn't it? It was a good con overall. Jason, you've been to a lot of cons in your time. How did the convention itself stack up?
I thought it was really well organised, I gotta say. The fact that we were able to go in earlier than planned, we literally had breakfast and rocked straight up there, didn't we? And we didn't have to queue at all. We just literally went through security and we were in. And the beauty of that, all the traders were ready. So we managed to do a lot of the traders without too much hassle and barging past people, which was great. I loved it. I thought it was great. And I'm really keen to go back next year.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good con. Okay, just before I move on from that, what I would say as well is that is a great con to go to, but I absolutely adore a con called Thought Bubble, which I know James Keegan and Luke are going to be at this year. Only a couple of weeks' time, guys. Hyper excited for that. Jason and James Mack, love you guys to try and get to that at some point as well. It's well worth coming up for a visit. It's a great con to come to. Luke, you excited for Thought Bubble?
More than I could explain. I'm really upset that I missed out on Liverpool, to be honest. But like I had said to you previously, I'm saving all of my funding for Thought Bubble. That's kind of like my end of year treat. So given that I've only recently started a new job, this is where all that money's going. But next year, hopefully, I can do a lot more.
Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, guys. Right. Let's talk about something that's potentially going to be a little bit controversial. Have you guys heard of this comic book? This is Blit Map. Anybody heard of this? So this is a new book by, I think it's Titan Publishing. Is it? Yeah, I'm sure it's Titan Publishing.
Is that
basically?
Is it? No.
Yeah, it's from A Place in the Space. That's their video. They're talking about it. But the comic you can get in any comic book shop, Forbidden Planet, all kinds of stuff. I've got a copy here to show you in a second. So the interesting thing about this comic, basically it's a sci-fi story comic book. But the interesting thing is when it's published and printed, it immediately gets put into a poly bag, and every single copy, every single issue, has got a different cover, and the different covers are all AI generated. So it's the first time.
I hate it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the first time that they've kind of done this, and
Hated it that much.
Luke's that upset he's left. It's yeah. Touché. So here's a copy. Each comic, like I say, has got its own individual cover. It says introducing a thrilling new sci-fi series set in a vibrant solar punk metropolis. Pioneering a novel approach to comic book storytelling, Blitmap captivates with unique hyper-press cover designs for every reader and embedded interactive secrets blending the digital and physical realms to deliver an unprecedented transmedia experience. Heed the call, discover your cover. Interesting. What do you think about that?
Do we know what the print count is, or?
I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure, but it's on the shelves in Forbidden Planet, and it's all over place in the space. So I presume it's got a decent sized print run. It's interesting that every single issue is going to have a different cover design. So that's I find interesting.
Yeah, because how would like rarity be with that? Because if they're all individual, then
Yeah.
you got 5,000 variants potentially. If there's 5,000,
Absolutely, yeah. CGC are going to have a field day trying to put a listing on all of them. Yeah. Fuzzy's just saying here it's sold out near everywhere. Absolutely, Fuzzy. I got the last couple of copies from Forbidden Planet today because I knew Fuzzy wanted one, so I'm going to send you one, bud. But I don't know how I feel about it, so I'm interested in knowing how you guys feel about it.
I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable.
With the whole
Because
AI
it's
element.
slippery slope, you know. This has not been generated by an artist, so the producer of the comic has had free artwork effectively, or paid for the stuff. I mean, you can get free software now, can't you? With AI stuff. So costs have been saved, and they're probably going to make a lot of money because people think it's a great idea. I think it's a slippery slope. I don't agree with it, and I think there's too much AI already, and now it's making its way into the comic book industry. Fuck them. Fuck those AI.
Fuck the bots. I think it's only a matter of time, isn't it, before we get a comic book fully AI produced. So yeah.
If we haven't already.
Well,
This is the thing. We don't know, do we? What do you think, Efren? How does it fit with you?
I agree with Jason, but I think this is also more going towards a younger reading audience than us, because we're like the old school comic books. Obviously, that's me. Like old school Marvel. But I think they're trying to stay with the times, and AI is the thing right now. So I think this is more for a younger people that they're hoping to sell this to, because they're used to it. This is them. This is their future, not ours. So. But I agree. I don't like it. I wouldn't. I like old school. Give me Jack Kirby anytime.
I agree. Yeah. It's funny because every time Efren was talking, then there was a crinkly noise coming out of his mouth.
That's me opening the packet. And that's because Efren actually is just AI. We generated him when we first started on YouTube. Yeah.
I'm not really here. I'm in my hand.
Yeah, I type whatever I want him to say, and it just comes out. It's tremendous.
But Efren, what about if they incorporated Jack Kirby's qualities into the AI to produce Jack Kirby?
I would hate it even more. I don't think they should leave that alone. But that's a good question, though.
Yeah. Captain UK's got a good point here. Just when you think all the gimmicks from the comic world have been played out, absolutely, mate. I've popped this open, so I'm going to have a little look-see and see what it looks like. Just try and make myself big. Hang on, chaps. That's not me.
Let's bring back some foil covers from the 90s, people. Come on.
Yeah, so I've ripped it open. Now, they do say that. It's quite nice. Actually, yeah, that is nice. So the artwork on the front is generic. It does note for us. It's very similar to those other images we just showed. But what I would say is the quality of the cover is lovely compared to the usual Marvel dog shit. It feels embossed. It's cardstock. It's got QI codes all over it, so I'm assuming the artwork on side's dog shit. Interesting.
Is it just the cover that's...
So it's just the cover that's AI generated, as far as I know. Yeah, it's just the cover that's AI generated.
AI for the inside, then. Hey.
Yeah, right.
But then another cover would be different than that one?
So every cover of this book is different. So if we we'll look at the images that they showed, I mean, it's saying every cover is different, but they look very similar to me.
Yeah,
well,
you
just
straight up teddy bear ones.
Yeah. No, so the one that he's got on the front there, it's got a bear in it in the centre of the head. Mine's got like a cat face or something. So it's going to be very similar imagery, I think, in just minor differences, I would suppose. But yeah.
I didn't think I
interesting.
could hate it more, but I
Yeah.
hate it even more now.
Yeah.
It's a novel idea, and it's something that wouldn't be possible without AI. It's not like taking it over from someone who could do it themselves. Like, no, you know, you can't. It's not feasible to do 5,000 different, say for example, 5,000 different covers for a comic without that. So I think as an experiment, it's interesting, but you know.
So it says inside, you hold in your hands a one-of-a-kind artifact, how am I? Created through the collaboration of artist and algorithm. Oh, I hate that.
That's just my eyes.
Each hyperpress variant is a singular expression in a catalogue that's vast but never repetitive. It's the relentless insistence of uniqueness that creates a powerful connection. I feel like I'm reading someone's thesis or something, do you know what I mean? The tactile bond between you and your comic, both without equal in the universe. The power of hyperpress lies not in its infinite possibilities, but in finding the one that speaks to you. Discover your cover. It's interesting. I can't say it's not interesting, and I can't say that I don't like the feel of the comic. It's hard to explain, guys. It's it's kind of almost furry, if that makes sense. It's a strange kind of cover.
Do you know what? AI aside, given what you just read there about find the one that speaks to you, in that case, they shouldn't have been in blind bags, and people should have been able to go looking for the one that they wanted. Absolutely.
Yeah, shouldn't have been put in polybags, should it? Yeah. It's interesting.
How much did it cost, Pete?
$4.99, I think. Dollars, so £3 or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, do you know how much they sell for once they're unbagged?
So the ones on eBay were going for about £8. And then the ones in Forbidden Planet today were, like I say, $4.99, so whatever that equates to in Forbidden Planet's conversion.
I think what's important is the story good?
Yeah. I will give it a read.
No.
And see what it's like, I think. Wealth by Night to say music is basically AI nowadays. C3PO sings Britney Spears will please the kids. They'll buy any poo. Yeah. My Tamagotchi has all the variant covers. Fuzzy, if Nerdy Girl bought it at a con, guaranteed you people would go mad for it. We know how it works. You're not wrong, Fuzzy. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. I'm afraid.
Just on the topic of the whole AI music thing, I was listening to Plankton from SpongeBob singing Louis Capaldi, and it was amazing.
Right.
I was in work. I listened to it on like 5 times in a row. It was so good.
That's random.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Plankton, interesting. So that's that comic. I thought it was interesting. I'm not a fan of AI stuff, I have to say myself, but yeah, we'll. I think we're in it now, aren't we? It's going to be hard to step back from it, so we'll see how it all develops. This is a bit of interest, I guess. This is good old Jonathan Majors. Lots of excitement this week with him. Obviously, he's currently on with screens in Loki. This week, the person that he's accused of assaulting, who then the counter kind of accused, that case was thrown out. So there's going to be no prosecution against her. We've also had confirmation that he will definitely be going to trial starting in November. And now apparently they've got a load of evidence from the UK as well. So apparently there was an assault based in the UK where they've got medical photographs and things as well. All speculation until he's actually been in court. So I'm not going to say I think the guy's guilty or not until it's gone through the courts. But this has got to look pretty shit for Marvel at the moment. The Marvel execs must be crapping their pants thinking where they're going to go with this character. What do you guys think about this? Do you think he's done? Do you think he's out of the Marvel universe?
So I think it's a lose-lose situation for Disney no matter how they look at it, and I think they are doing the best that they can, because by sticking with him until a verdict is made, that is the best that you could ask for. And if he's proven to be guilty, I think he'll be out the door so fast. And all they'll do is replace the actor. They'll recast him because they're not going to change the whole setup of their plan as weak as we might think it is. They're going to do that. So it'll be a simple recast at worst. And at best, he'll be found not guilty and they'll carry on.
Yeah, I think you're right. Look, I think we're too far gone with the Kang stuff now for them to lose that character. So be interesting to see if he gets recast. Anybody else got any thoughts on this? No.
I think with society now, I think when you basically everybody is guilty as charged via the internet as soon as anything comes out.
Yeah,
But
true.
what I would probably say is, if you look at it in context of other celebrities who have been involved and, you know, they've not gone to trial yet, they've all been kicked off they've all been kicked off straight away from their
They've been
TV.
cancelled too, haven't they? Yeah.
Look at the footballers, they've all been suspended, whatnot. But with Jonathan Majors, that hasn't happened. So it's kind of either, I don't know, he's got good evidence himself and Disney are going to back him or whatnot. But I think for most recent things, you've seen a lot of people getting found not guilty, almost. And, you know, it's not my comment on whether people are guilty or not. That's down to a court of law. But I think Disney are testing themselves here with on the water, basically.
Yeah, and I'm 100% with you, James, in that I don't think there should be any action until the court case is kind of concluded. Fuzzy's saying here that he thinks he's a goner. I do think he's kind of, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting.
I think he's great as Kang.
He was the most exciting thing about the new movies, like the new.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying him in Loki, but
he's a tremendous actor. There's no getting away from that. He's an absolutely phenomenal actor.
Honestly, if I was a betting man, I'd say he's never going to set foot on a Marvel studio again.
I mean, if we've all watched the latest Loki episode, you don't really know what's going to happen.
Well, it's funny, James, you're saying that, and again, we're going to touch on Loki in a little bit, but I was watching that with my wife.
Segue.
Yeah, I was watching that with my wife, and I don't know, that the way they're playing the character at the moment, it kind of almost is leading towards a get out of jail card for them, where they could pretty much scrap him as a character and come up with something different, you know? It's interesting. What do you think, Efren?
I've seen the first 2 episodes of Loki, so I've enjoyed it. But I mean, like you guys are saying, you know, he hasn't been found guilty yet. So until he has, you know, then Marvel will make a decision. If they get rid of him, you know, they just get a really good actor to take his place. You know, I think they'll just move on and people will forget about it. You know.
Yeah.
The brown sticky stuff sticks, doesn't it? And even if he is innocent, there's still that aura of what happened, you know. Yeah. And let's be honest with you, there's no smoke without fire, right? So something's happened, whether he, like James says, whether he's guilty or whether he's innocent, something's happened. And if he does get found not guilty, you know, it's this whole thing with what's Johnny his name now? Kevin Spacey and Johnny Depp. Kevin Spacey, you know, even though he's been found not guilty of anything, the theatre, was it last week or the week before, that he was associated with, cancelled some of his performance that he was going to be doing, even though because he didn't want to be associated with him, and yet he'd been found not guilty. So
he's been found not guilty, Kevin Spacey, in the US and the UK, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a sticky one. It's a sticky one. If they were to replace him, I have to say, I've said before, but I would absolutely love the guy who played High Evolutionary in Guardians. I thought he was a phenomenal actor. Can't remember his name.
Well, this is the thing as well, right? The character of Kang, as we all know him from the comics, you know, it's all heavy makeup and prosthetics and stuff. Like, they could just keep him that way moving forward. You know, they could say, right, he's reached that level now where he's transformed, he's changed to that appearance, and then that's it. Keep him like that forevermore.
Yeah, you're right, Luke, you're right. And Fuzzy's saying here, the last thing Marvel want with its 200 people protesting outside the premiere and outside cinemas. Yeah, you're right, bud. You're right. We've got 24 people watching. Thank you very much, everybody. Please do hit that like and subscribe for everybody's channels. Okay, guys, this is a little bit of interesting news. The last bit of news we're going to talk about. Spoilers ahead. So if you don't want,
I don't know if I want to see this.
So there's been 2 interesting things this week. There's been, first of all, a tease in the trailer for Captain Marvel, and then there's been a kind of a rumor about the end scene.
The end credits.
Yeah, and basically this is all feeling very much like last-ditch attempts at Disney to try and generate some excitement and interest in this show. So has everybody seen the latest trailer and it's linked to another MCU character?
No.
Okay. Do you want to hear or not? Put your fingers in your ears. Yeah. So basically, the trailer ends with one of the Captain Marvels saying, "I've called in some help from a friend," and you see the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge. So it's implying that one of the characters from the Thor universe is going to be in Captain Marvel in some shape or form.
It's gonna be a woman.
Yeah, it's going to be Valkyrie.
It's gonna be Valkyrie, isn't it?
Yeah, I would imagine it's going to be Valkyrie. So it's interesting. It feels really out of place in the trailer. It feels kind of squashed in to try and say, "Look at us," which is interesting. And then there's been an end screen leak. Again, do you want to hear that or not?
No, not me, honestly.
No.
So all I'll
Yeah.
say is it's a link to a character that feels totally out of place to this movie. Doesn't feel like it fits at all.
A character
So
we've
it-
seen, or like a comic character? that hasn't
Yeah.
existed?
It's a character we've seen before. Yeah. So it feels very much like a kind of a Hail Mary. Please be interested in my film because look at this big event that's going to happen at the end of it. Are any of you guys jumping at the bit to come and see this film?
I am.
Absolutely
I
not.
want to see it.
Do you know what?
I am.
I like the Captain Marvel film.
Man,
I
I
wasn't
liked
really,
it.
I
That was
wasn't
great.
really a big fan of the Miss Marvel TV show. It was watchable.
I like that.
I liked it for what it was. But it didn't blow me away. But I like that Captain Marvel film with the scrolls and everything. I really did. And I can separate myself from the art and the actress, for whatever she said off of camera about stuff.
She was right though. She was 100% right.
It's
said.
regardless of any of it, I like the art form and I like the character and I like her depiction of the character.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like how she was shoehorned into things like that fight in Endgame. I don't think needed to happen.
Yeah.
That could have just been the three main guys. I don't see that. But this looked fun. When that first trailer dropped, it looked fun. I went, oh look, three characters that are linked. They all share the namesake. This could work. But now, with all the hatred that's coming from other fans and other people and everyone putting it down, now I'm getting less and less excited for it. So now I won't go cinema to see it. I'll wait for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Right.
It's interesting, but because I think the first Captain Marvel movie had a lot of hatred because of her. There was a lot of people negative about her, which was totally unwarranted because actually she was great in the role. I'm not hearing or seeing the hatred about her for this film. I'm hearing more, reading more about it. I think people are just Marvel movied out, and the trailers haven't necessarily excited by the looks of it. I personally loved the Miss Marvel TV series, so I'm excited to see her. I'm excited to see Monica Rambeau as well. I don't know. It just feels a bit flat at the moment. James, Mac, what are you thinking?
I'm not going to go to the cinema to watch it. It looks very much to me like it's kiddified. It does not interest me. I know, like, we're talking here about comic book characters and superheroes, but it looks like I did not like Miss Marvel because of how it was like a teenage. It just did not. I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes and I just could not get on with it.
Yeah.
And I really tried because I really wanted it to be like good for me, but I really tried with it. But I'm not gonna go see it. And I don't have a problem with Brie Larson. I think she's a very very good actor. I personally find her very very attractive as well. So you have no qualms for me in that department. But I'm just really not interested in this film, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to come across as.
I mean, yeah, I'll be seeing it straight away. I think James, we're going to see it, aren't we, on the Friday it comes out or something?
I think so. We're seeing Lost Boys in the evening, so it depends on what time we get there and stuff. I was literally just thinking, but I know I'm like, I don't care at the moment, but I'll go see it and I'll come out of it and be like, oh, I like that. That was pretty good, and that's how the last few Marvel movies have been. So.
Yeah.
Can I ask, are you two boys living together now?
Yeah, what is going on?
It's a civil partnership, Jason. It's a civil
Wait a minute,
partnership.
isn't James live in another country, so he's gonna fly over to watch a movie with you? And
Just to see this film. Just to see the film.
wow, man!
He flies over every week to do their other channel.
Guys,
Amazing.
guys, it's
The,
2023. Anything goes these days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
Do you know what
No
though?
judging
This whole cinema thing though, I think it's the same for both I think it is just Disney in general, because it's the same for Star Wars as it is for the Marvel stuff, where I just don't think there's a need to go to the cinema to see it. Like, the last thing that I went to see in the cinema was No Way Home, and that was because I wanted that atmosphere and hype, because everyone was excited. I don't feel like I need that for this content anymore. Like, this is just the next chapter. There's going to be another one and another one and another one. It's just going to keep coming. It's no longer a cinematic event. You know, a bit like how Scorsese was saying they're like fairground rides and stuff like that. It is unfortunately slowly becoming like that.
You see, I'm the exact opposite to you. Look, I couldn't disagree more. I think for a film like this, I want to see it on the big screen. I want to see the special effects. I want to feel the noise in my bones. For Scorsese's film, that was it, The Killers of the Thingy Moon, I see no interest in seeing that on the big screen. I can watch that on a normal TV. Do you know what I mean? For me, it's something about the technology, I think, probably.
So, like, that film, I can't remember what it was, the latest one with the AI and the robot and stuff.
The Creator.
The Creator. Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I love that.
Went to cinema to see that, loved it, right? But I'm just saying I don't need that experience. I don't need the cinema experience anymore for the latest Marvel film when I know it's coming on Disney Plus in a few weeks after. Like, I can wait.
You feel like they're purposely, with, like, it took ages for Guardians 3 to come out, for instance, on Disney Plus. Do you think they're purposely, instead of it being like 6 or 8 weeks, it's like 12 weeks or like...
Yeah, but I can wait 12 weeks sometimes 14 weeks. Like, it's not... I mean, nowadays we're getting the spoilers before the film's even out. You know, how many leaks and spoilers and rumors are we getting for the new Deadpool movie? I'm not excited to rush out and see that.
I guess it just depends on how you want to absorb your media, isn't it? And for me, there's something very special about going to the cinema. I still love the experience of the cinema, I think.
As do I. Like, I can't stress, like, that is right, but not for these properties anymore. They've kind of ruined it for themselves and ruined it for me.
Okay, moving on, guys. We've got what have we been buying? So we'll start with you, James T, because we've been talking a little bit about this. Look at the sexiness of that.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. It's right in front of me.
Great.
Yeah. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I love to frame things. I just find it really relaxing to, like, peel off the cellophane and stuff and put things in frame. So I got a frame for my Last of Us print. It's beautiful. I love it.
Have you framed your Diamond Pass?
No, I haven't. I gave it to
Do you frame it in front of Peter? Or
yeah,
we'll have a ceremony from
I do it. Yeah.
I flew over and we had like a party and a ceremony.
So do you know what I do with stuff like this? So when I get stuff like this signed and framed, I put my pass in the back of the frame. So that then whenever it's another thing of proof that you were at the event.
Authenticity, I like it, Luke.
Yeah, the signature was true.
Yeah.
I saw it be signed, so that's proof to me. You know. Yeah, so I got that, and I picked up a few other frames as well. If I can make myself big. Yeah, I don't know. I just picked up a few anyway. I got some stuff I had, like, laying around that I just, like, hadn't got out yet. So I'm a screen poster. Got a little frame for that. I got signed up for Love of Horror last year.
That's very cool.
Nice. Show that again. You didn't show it that much. Let me see that frame, that picture.
Yeah, for Love of Horror last year, I got Dewey and Ghostface on the poster.
Cool.
And then I was supposed to get what's her name? Tatum from Charmed. Rose McGowan. I was supposed to get Rose McGowan as well, and she cancelled. So
James, if you ever want to leave me any of this stuff in your will, I'll be happy to accept.
Well, that's it.
it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to
It'll come to his next of kin, which is myself, and then I'll sort it out, mate.
But everything says to James on it, so
Yeah,
I've got Tipex. I've got Tipex. I can change that. It's fine.
I got frames for all my, like, photo ops. I have like 10 photo ops. I just pick up frames for them, so I'll stick them up around the room.
Hang on, hold them back up again.
hang on a sec. Elijah Wood wasn't there, was he? Was this from?
No,
previous?
this was
Are you-
last month.
And why is he wearing your shirts?
Yeah, are you dressed as Elijah Wood? Did you take his shirt?
I never even noticed that. That's hilarious, isn't it?
Jeez, just share
Elijah Wood
shirts.
really let himself go here, didn't he? So yeah, I don't know. I literally an hour yesterday just peeling stuff and framing them. I was really.
Jason's having a fit. Look at him.
Good stuff.
So that's
Good stuff,
fine.
James. Luke, have you got anything you want to show off, bud?
I do. This week I do. So
Cool.
yeah, it's just the one thing. I actually this is quite interesting because Efren has actually helped me acquire something, but it hasn't arrived yet. So that'll be a show and tell next time. But also, Jason also is a fan of this type of comic book, which is an EC comic book. So I've really got back into reading my old EC books, in part because of Jason. I've been watching his videos, and it was like, yeah, I'm going to jump back in. And this is a book that I've always wanted. I absolutely love this cover. And finally, one came up cheap enough. So shock suspense.
Wow. I love that book.
Yeah, so for those of you who ever used to watch the old Tales from the Crypt TV show, this was actually one of the episodes where a crook is handcuffed to a police officer, and then he's trying to make his daring escape, dragging the corpse around with him. So yeah, I absolutely love this, and I'm so glad to add it to the collection.
Very nice.
Well done, mate.
Very
It's
nice.
a great book.
They're pricey books as well, aren't they? Those old horror books.
They're not cheap, but
Yeah.
fortunately, this one was. I was able to make a deal outside of eBay and
Oh,
get the
right.
price down a bit lower.
Good.
All thanks to having a YouTube channel, actually, because then they know
Oh.
you're not going to run away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. Does help.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Have
would
you
look
done the
better
old
for
trick
you.
that Jason does? He tells people, sellers on eBay, I've got a YouTube channel.
Is that what
well,
Jason does? Is it?
What
Shocking.
I actually said is I'm planning on showcasing my EC books, but before I do, there's a few that I want to tick off my list, and this is one of them. So in a way, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Works.
Very cool. Efren, have you got anything you want to show off?
I am not buying as many comic books as I used to. I've really cut down on my collecting, but a good friend sent me some books that came in about 2 days ago. You may know this guy, and let me show them to you. This one is Something is Killing the Humans.
Yeah, very cool.
And this is a regular artist on Peter's drawing show, The Weeping Blade.
Yeah, nice. Have you read that one yet, Efren? It's a
No,
great
I haven't read it
story.
yet. No, I haven't read it yet. So, but and then I got this Invaders. As you can tell, these are all from the UK. They're not from the United States. And this one, I'm so happy that he sent me this. This is my favorite character. We're going to talk about him. If you haven't guessed it by now, Peter sent me these books. This is Marvel. I love Daredevil. You know I love Daredevil. I love this cover. I go, this is so cool. You know,
Yeah, it's a nice one, that.
It's a great cover.
And then the last two are
Peter
both.
never sends me books.
The last two
No.
are there's a Punisher.
Oh, that's a good cover.
Yeah, I'm amazed by just their wider books. You know, so it was cool.
That's why I sent you those ones, Efren, because I know you'd
Oh.
said that you didn't have any UK-based comics.
No,
So I tried to send
no.
a selection of kind of the American version and our print version.
And this one too. So thank you so much. You know,
No problem at all.
but yeah, I'm not buying as many books as I used to. I just really have cut down a lot. You know, so.
Did he not bag and board them for you, Efren?
Oh, he bagged them. I took them out of the bag. I knew they were going to be all shiny, you know, the reflection. So I thought
Did
of
you
that.
send
Yeah,
them,
they were
Did he send you the mushy peas? No.
No, talk to them. No,
And,
nothing like
the
that.
pudding?
No.
No?
Or the
No.
spotted dick?
That's come with the spotted dick, yeah. That's come with the
Let's not
spotted
start
dick.
talking about food again. I'm gonna start swearing again. So
Good stuff,
You're
Efren.
going to be so disappointed when you open up those comics and there's no colour inside of them.
Yeah, black and white, yeah. Jason, have you got anything you want to show off, bud?
Yeah, so this had come back from CGC. It originally came back weeks ago, but it was cracked. So it had to go back. But it's the hip-hop
Oh,
variant
wow.
of this
oh
novel.
wow.
You got that from
This was
Grab
one of the
Bag,
ones-
from Planet.
Yeah, I had this in my Forbidden Planet grab bag for 50. Well, Amanda did 50p, 50 pence.
That's incredible.
As a grab bag. So yeah, so of course I would have liked a 9.8, but it's a black cover, so it's pretty difficult to get in.
Especially out of Grab Bag, yeah.
And that's
Yeah, you can still see. Can you see the rippling there?
Yep.
Hang on, where's it gone now? Can you
Yeah.
see that?
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh
So
yeah.
that was pressed as well. So
Oh wow.
yeah, exactly. Got a couple of books. Got Thor.
Oh, nice.
Once
Nice.
Before,
Very cool.
and
Is that the first High Evolutionary, Jason?
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sure is. And then I've got this Negative Space.
Love
of
it.
Mandalorian.
Awesome.
That's from Tyler Christopher.
Nice.
It certainly is, mate.
Yeah. It's
Um,
amazing how we know who these artists are without even looking at the
yeah.
picture. So
Oh, I love that.
Psylocke.
Oh, that's nice.
That's a
You
cool one.
sending these off, Jason?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I sold a set for £50. Today I sold a set for. So I don't know. I mean,
I've not seen that
That's
one.
a nice one. That's
Yeah,
nice.
I've not seen that one.
cool, isn't it? Emma Frost. And picked up this one. Bit of an unusual one. Mark Millar.
Yeah.
Bit weird,
That,
isn't it?
that series is bad. Have you read it?
That's
No.
anime, isn't it?
This is the this is the unofficial romance novel for Spider-Man.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this is showing you Aunt May and her sister going off to camp and meeting their partners, Richard and whoever,
And Ben.
Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
How could you forget Ben, man?
It would if you I can't even recommend that you read it. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
What was he thinking of Mark Millar there? I don't,
Filth.
knows?
Oh.
And I got that as well.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's still quite modern book for me, really, apart from that Thor. I have got more older books, but they're currently in my car being in. Well, I've just come back from a comic fair, so they're still stuck in there. But so yeah, that's my little pickup.
Good stuff. Some nice stuff there. James Mack, you got anything you want to show off?
Yes, I do. I picked this book up from Liverpool.
Oh, nice.
Hang on.
Yeah. I heard somebody else was after that one, but I knew you got it first, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wait, that's my book.
It's mine now, baby. This is Jason's. I kept it for safekeeping and obviously took it back home to Birmingham with me.
Yeah.
So
Very
it's definitely safe, Jason. But what is it, Batman 197?
Yes.
I love that
Yeah.
cover. It's a nice cover.
So
Is that? It's only a key, I think, because you've got. Well, I don't know. Why is it a key book?
I don't know, sure, but mate.
You bought the bloody thing.
It's
I think
because
it made me
the collector told me it was a
Catwoman
good
and-
book, that's why I bought it.
There's an ivy on the cover at the same time. I don't know, some sort of bullshit excuse.
Yeah, right. And
Very nice. Very
so
nice.
I, from Liverpool, I actually bought a graded Pokemon card.
All right.
And it's just this. It's it's a graded Meowth.
Yeah.
It's a promo card that came in the UK Game Boy trading card game for Pokemon. So it's in a decent grade, to be fair, considering it's like 23 years old. But
Very cool.
it was only £35, so I just snapped their hands off when I saw it.
Yeah.
So that's going into the collection. And the last thing I picked up this week is I bought a comic book off eBay. Sorry, Peter. I know you're avoiding eBay at the moment. But does
And he
anyone
said
know,
he is.
does anybody know anything about this comic book?
No.
No. So this is Justice League of Europe. I think it's number 33.
Yeah.
So in this comic, there is another comic inside it, and it's a promotional giveaway. And to be honest, I don't know if it's in here. So I'm hoping it's sold as near mint. So I'm hoping that it's still in there, attached inside. Yeah, it's still attached. And promotional giveaway is
Sonic. Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, right.
So
Cool.
you can remove that and you can send it off to CGC.
So I've got
Really?
Yeah, I've got. Have I got the Sonic one graded? I've got the Masters of the Universe one graded. Then I got my friend Andy, Perpetual Comics, sent us the Sonic one, and there's another one as well. I think I can't remember who it is,
Mario or something.
but there was 3 or 4 at the same time. Yeah, really cool, them James.
Yeah, I
Really
mean
cool.
they're well protected as well, obviously inside
Yeah.
the book as well. So
Like you say, if you remove it, the CGC will grade it.
Yeah.
You can detach. Is it connected by staples? How do you detach it?
I don't know.
Don't do it. I'm just asking.
I'm not gonna rip out now, but Mikey's got
No, do
a
it now.
9.8 of it.
Get the
And I
viewers in
saw on
here.
the label that it was from this book, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to find this book, and I bought this book for £2 delivered.
Brilliant.
Mask's the other one I think I've got. Sonic, Mask, and Masters of the Universe.
It is by Staples, so I don't know how you get that in a 9.8.
Yeah.
I got to shoot off now, guys. Sorry. Love you.
No problem. No problem.
Right,
Thanks very
thanks,
much, Jason. We'll catch you next time,
Bye.
bud. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, that's all I've picked up this week. I
Very
do
cool,
have I do have a delivery from CGC, but this is going to be a video.
Yeah, of course.
So
This
Something
is
sexy.
a video. Do it now.
I can't. It's too big of a book.
Oh,
Just a couple of things from me, guys. Few things I've talked about before. I've got this. This is the Comics Curing Cancer limited edition comic. This is Unnatural Order #1. Only 250 copies of this cover. So I've got 6 of them. Couple to send off to some pals, and the rest I'm going to put in my giveaway box. So that's that one. That's quite nice. I've been to Forbidden Planet today. Picked up James Tinian's Dracula. So
nice.
I've heard that that's really, really good. So I'm looking forward to that. So I got the trade cover.
Right.
Sorry, mate. I got the trade cover and I got 2 blank covers. Take the thought bubble and hopefully get a few signatures on there.
Oh, man.
So they'll be
That's
cool, I
good,
think. Picked up this because it's supposed to be really interesting. Don't know if you've read this one yet, Luke. This is Spine-Tingling Spider-Man. Kind of more of a spooky horror tale, I think. That's a Peach Momoko cover.
No, I've not
Friggin'
read
hate
that
it.
one.
I'm not a Peach Momoko fan, I have to say. But yeah, it looks a really cool story, and the artwork inside is really nice. And I think Fuzzy said that was a good one to read. And then I picked this up from Distillery. This is Jock's new book, Gone. It's a sci-fi adventure. He's going to be at Thought Bubble, so I'll get him to sign that for us. Distillery, in case you guys don't know, is the big new company. So this is the kind. It's a bit like really the start of Image. There's a whole host of big name writers and artists of getting together and created their own imprint. So yeah, looking forward to reading that one, seeing what that one's all about. Okay, let's give away some comics. Fuzzy's just saying, Jesus, sorry, I really enjoyed that Spider-Man, and Jesus, we bought the same books. Well, links, Fuzzy, you and me, man, you and me. Dead Man is just saying that Batman 197, I believe, is the first appearance of Batgirl on a Batman comic, rather than the famous detective cover. Oh, it's interesting to know that, Dead Man. Okay, guys, giveaway. So, I'm shamelessly stealing from James Mack in a little something he did on his live show a couple of weeks ago. But I'm twisting it slightly. Twisting it slightly, James. Instead of doing comic covers, what we're going to do is some movie posters. And this is how we're going to give away some comics, right? So I'm going to do 4 images of you guys, for you guys. And basically what I've done is I've taken a famous movie poster and I've enlarged it. All right? And it's the first person to shout out what the movie is wins. Once we've done 5 of them, hopefully anybody watching will kind of understand the game. Then we'll put one up for the viewers and they've got to jump in and try and win one. Understand?
Better make sure my microphone's on.
So can I shout out straight away?
Shout out as soon as you think you know what it is. Shout out. Those of you that are watching at home, please pop in the chat if you think you know what it is as well. And this is the first one. So remember, this is a zoomed up portion of a famous poster. I've tried to make them quite easy. Are you ready? Exciting. Dead easy.
They live.
Terminator.
Fuck.
Terminator. Well done, James Mack. Well done, James Mack. It is, of course, good old Arnie. So that's 1 to James. They Live was a good guess. I like that.
Yeah, no,
I
I just saw that poster today. I was looking at it. I was going to buy it. Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, he's ready for the next one. Nice, easy one for you next. All right? Nice, easy one.
Star Wars.
Good man, Efren. James Keegan. What is wrong with you? Where were you?
That's not the.
It's a Star Wars poster. It's one of the Star Wars posters.
It's not the Star Wars poster.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's a Star Wars poster. Efren got it, James.
Star Wars
Efren
artwork more so.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's 1 to James Mack, 1 to Efren. Luke's asleep, and James doesn't have a clue.
Luke's buying that book on eBay that James just showed.
Mate,
Right,
the guy had plenty more copies. He had quite a few near mint copies.
Oh, we're ready for the next one. Can't remember what it was. Let's have a look. Oh,
Jaws.
easy. Yes. Who was that? Was that James Mack again?
yeah.
Yours.
James Mack straight in there with Jaws. Well done, James Mack. Okay, next one, chaps. Ready? Nice and easy.
Halloween. No.
No.
Scream.
No.
It's Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, Silence of the Lambs. Luke's back in it.
No.
Well done, Luke.
Sorry, I only just looked up.
Yeah.
It's
So
the-
can I
the
just
Death's Head Moth?
to clarify, the only person that's not got one is James Keegan.
There's one more. There's one more
is
to
that
go.
right?
Yeah,
Is that right? James Keegan hasn't got one yet. Let's last one, James. Last one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
He's all ready. Yeah. Oh, well, that's not
Did
the
you
last
know
one.
that
That's one you've just
actually
done.
that's actually naked women as well? That's the Death's Head moth is actually made up. If that wasn't pixelated,
That
That's
was a really
that.
good.
Yeah.
That was a really good guess, Luke.
Yeah.
well, I am a Hannibal Lecter fan. So
I mean,
got all
he's
the
inspiration.
He aspires to be him.
It's his,
I've got a
it's
Death's
his
Head moth there
inspiration.
as well.
Yeah. Fuzzy got that one in the chat. Well done, Fuzzy. Okay, next, last one. Your last chance, James Keegan.
Barbie. Oh,
You
Fight
said
Club,
what?
Fight Club, Fight Club.
James Mack. James Mack is in the house.
Wow.
How we all went to Barbie before Fight Club is shocking.
Barbie. Yeah. Very well done. Very well done. So everybody there, apart from James Keegan, is a winner. Well done.
Sorry,
Well done.
James.
Anyway, who cares?
Okay, guys. So anybody in the chat, I'm going to put the last one up. Please do chuck your answers in the chat as soon as you see it. Whilst we're doing that, we'll start getting some comics ready. So last one, nice easy one for everybody. And it's that. That's a dead easy one. Surely everybody should get that one. What we're going to do, ladies and gents, is the first person that answers will get some free comic books. We're going to give you some free cards as well. I got this box of cards sent to us a little while ago from our friends at Zavi. So we'll give you some of those. We will give you also a copy of Kev's comic book, the Weeping Blade, which is a tremendous little story. So really do recommend you read that and check it out. And sorry, let's have a look. We've got first one, Better Thief, Avengers. That's correct. So we've got Avengers. So Better Thief, if you are a subscriber, please do drop us a line on Instagram and we'll give you some free comic books. So we shall pick those now. So like I say, you'll get that and you'll get a pack of cards and we'll pick you some comics. So James Mack, tell us when to stop and we'll pick a few comics.
Stop.
Stop. Very well done. So you are getting that.
Nice.
Is that Gleason, I think?
Yeah.
That's a Gleason comic. James Keegan, tell us when.
Stop.
Oh, Old School Avengers. So Avengers West Coast. Efren.
Stop.
Oh, that's nice. A nice Venom book. Don't know what cover that is. Back to you, James Mack. To say stop
Okay,
anytime you
great.
want.
Stop.
Keep on going for half an hour.
Intensely staring there. We've got a World War Hulk comic. And Luke, you can do the last one. Tell me where to stop, mate.
Stop.
And limited Thor cover, I think that is.
Yeah, that's a good one. See.
Yeah, it's a nice
Well
one.
done, well done. Beta thief.
So drop us a line, Beta Thief, on Instagram, and we'll send those over to you straight away. Right, guys. So just kind of wrapping up, we'll talk a little bit about what we've been watching recently. So interested in people's thoughts. We've obviously had Loki. Now I know Efren hasn't seen the later episodes. I'm interested in what people are thinking. I'm struggling a bit with it, I have to be honest. It's not blown us away. James Mack, you're up to speed with it. What are you thinking of it so far?
I enjoyed the last episode. Are we allowed to spoil, or I don't want to ruin it for everyone?
That's okay. I don't mind spoilers at all.
You don't mind?
No.
Jason,
Spoilers in the
Jason
chat.
would
Is there
literally.
big stuff to spoil?
Have you not seen it, James?
I've only seen the first episode.
We'll keep away from spoilers, and if we can.
I don't know. Do you know what? I'll just take my headphones off for a second.
No, I just feel like having Ravonna now as like the bad guy is
Yeah.
kind of a bit of a. I'm not really a fan of that because I don't quite feel like that's where a character was going,
Yeah.
especially at the beginning of the season. Miss Minutes is just absolutely fucking evil.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like, honestly, that was that scene in that last episode with did you see her face
Yeah.
when she was doing? Oh my god.
Yeah, there's some quite dark stuff coming in the later episodes, isn't there?
Yeah,
It's
and
interesting.
like I said earlier, I'm really enjoying Jonathan Majors as He Who Remains, Kang. But something happened in this episode for me, and I won't spoil it, but this Victor Timely has a bit of a stutter.
Yeah.
And when something quite serious happened and he was being like interrogated, he like switched and his stutter had gone, and he was like, and he like, I don't want to ruin it, but I kind of think that all's not as it seems with him. He's not the innocent.
You see,
version.
it's interesting because he's getting on my tits. I'm not enjoying the character at all, to be honest. I don't know why. Luke, you're up to speed on it, are you?
I am up to speed, yeah. We already know from season 1 that the one that they killed off in the end of season 1 was the nice one. So this isn't going to be a surprise when this guy turns out to be evil. Like I'm expecting it. I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I think in part because Short Round. His character in this is amazing. I don't know. I like more of the time travel aspect. I want to see them go to different universes and the alternate timelines and stuff like that. This one,
almost like a buddy cop.
Yeah, kind of.
Morbius.
Yeah, and this one, I just felt like everything was a bit of a slowdown and a bit of okay, let's just plod through the motions kind of thing. I mean, even back in season 1, again in that last episode, I guesstimating, and I'm probably way off, but I always thought Miss Minutes would be proven to be like Ultron or something by this point. Yeah. Like, again, because you can have these different personas and all of a sudden it just snap into place and then it's that character and it was all an act all along. But again, I don't know. I will continue watching it, but only because it's Loki. Like, I do feel like the actor who plays Loki is carrying the show for me, as well as obviously Mobius. I don't know. Jonathan, I mean, I can take or leave Jonathan Majors and them doing what they're doing. Yeah.
I'm the same as Fuzzy here. Everybody keeps telling us it's brilliant, and when I'm reading the reviews, it's like 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5. And I don't know, I'm just not getting it. I don't know. I think it's very convoluted and very... It at its worst, for me, it feels like some of the bad Star Trek episodes where you chuck a lot of complicated words in about bits of technology and how it's going to do this, that, and the other.
It's doing a lot to say very little.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It's almost as if it shouldn't be called Loki. It should be called like TVA or something, really, at this point, because it's not primarily about Loki anymore. Yeah.
And the only other thing that winds us up slightly, and I know it's different when you're in the Time Variance Authority or whatever it is, but Loki's meant to be a threatening god of mischief and evil, and he's kind of reduced to just running backwards and forwards in this and making his hands glow. He doesn't do much of anything, really. Even when they're fighting, he doesn't seem to do a great deal. Do you know, he's not much of an imposing god. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's interesting. I'd be interested once Ephron and James have caught up with the series. We'll try and do like a season finale kind of thing and see what everyone
That is
thinks
one
of it.
thing that I will say. When Mobius was looking up at the statues and he's like, I forget that you're one of them. And it's like, you have to flip and remind us because he clearly doesn't do anything. You're exactly right, Peter. It's shocking.
Yeah. Was nice. I'm not going to spoil that. The show another statue of a god, which I thought was a nice touch because we've not seen them in it before. Now, something that is friggin' phenomenal. Oops. Sorry, James, are you about to say something?
No, I'm going to dip out for a minute because I don't want to know anything about this. So.
I'm not going to spoil this. So this is The Boys Generation V, so Gen V, and it is absolutely superb. Loving this series so far. Last episode was a bit of a flat one, mind, but if anyone's not watching this, I really do recommend you go and check it out because it's hilarious. It's got great action, it's just brilliant. Anybody else watching it?
I've watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes so far. Yeah,
very, very cool. Really recommend you watching that one. It's superb. When James was over at mine the other week, we watched this. This is Werewolf by Night in colour. Anybody else watched it yet?
Not yet.
It's really good. It's really, really good. It's good because it's the same program, and it was always good. You know what I mean? The storytelling to it is great, but obviously it's in colour. James, what did you think of it?
I think for the most part, it's not really losing anything. It has like its own kind of visual style to it. One thing I would say is maybe some of the effects maybe don't really hold up as well. Like the black and white hides kind of some of the Man Thing and that. And there's like that kind of iconic shot from it where the camera zooms in and it's flashing and her in the cage. Like that didn't really
Fear in
look
a
great.
cage.
Compared to how it looks in the original. But I think this is a great alternative if you don't like watching things in color. I would still consider the black and white version as like the real one. But I think this is, you're not missing out much or anything really watching this one instead.
I think I would agree. I think if it was my choice between the two, me personally, for my preference, I would watch the black and white one. But I know for a fact my parents weren't interested in watching it in black and white, but my dad will watch it in colour. So I think it's a nice alternative, I guess. It is worth a watch, particularly for people, I think, who didn't watch the first one because they didn't want to engage in the black and white. It's worth watching, I think. Okay, guys, moving on. I just wanted to touch on this before we go. Daredevil Born Again's got a new creative team, and it's the people who wrote Jack Ryan and with the showrunner on The Punisher, which I think is phenomenal news because The Punisher was a superb TV series. Really excited about this. What do you guys think of this? Has this made you happy?
Oh, for
Efren?
me, yes, heck yeah. The first 2 seasons of Daredevil on Netflix, they were excellent. And I wish to continue that same path. The darkness and grittiness. Don't make it like Disney light. Like it was in She-Hulk. What the hell's going on here? It was happy-go-lucky, and the fight scenes are just tremendous. I mean, the way that he's always like in a stairway or in a small room and he's just fighting, it seems more realistic than a normal Marvel movie. A guy getting hit, not like in a Marvel one. Thor throws his hammer. And I've always said Daredevil is my favorite character. So I just want him to do him justice. And I hope they bring back Punisher too for a little bit in this series.
I think the fact that they've got the guy who did the Punisher series on board with this now, for me, it gives us a lot more confidence. Anybody else got any thoughts on that?
What's the deal? They were into production and they've done
They've binned it all.
All of it?
From what I understand,
Christ.
they scrapped a lot.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Daredevil didn't appear until episode 4, so Feige went in and just said, "This is dog
Sure,
shit."
like
and
it's
just
an
binned
18
it.
episode season. Like it's I don't think that's that egregious.
Well, whatever he saw, he mustn't have liked because they've scrapped it from.
I
brought the new
suppose
guys in.
there has been a few things lately where you kind of think, how did they let this come out? So that's a good thing that they're not accepting below a certain quality, but still it's strange.
But
I think.
there are ways that they could have done it with him not appearing as Daredevil until episode 4. Like, they could have opened up with a strong opening sequence showing him in full costume and then just bring up a title card saying like 4 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
And then you have Matt Murdock investigating or going through all the motions, and then in episode 4 he's back into the costume in full swing and you got the story. They could again, we will never know. We won't know what they've created and what they had before, but there are ways that could have played out. I think just saying, oh, Daredevil wasn't in it until episode 4 isn't really fair to the people that have slaved away to make it what it was.
I hear what you're saying, Luke, and I completely agree. And we'll never know the full story. But for me, I think James is bang on. They've let out some horrific shows. Fuzzy, I apologise. She-Hulk should have never aired, as far as I'm concerned.
I thought She-Hulk was fun and enjoyable.
So
I don't know
the
what's
thought
wrong.
that Feige's actually got in and said, "Hang on a minute, nah, I'm not letting this out," is kind of positive for me. I think. I'd much rather that than them push out something that's below par. But then we don't know. Is it just below par in Feige's eyes? It might have been a masterpiece. We're putting faith in Feige, I suppose.
I hope they bring back, because I know in this new series before they all stopped it, they weren't going to bring back Foggy and Karen Page, and maybe perhaps now they will. So I thought they were an integral part of his storyline.
But also they were going to bring John Bernthal in as the Punisher, and maybe now they won't. So
Really?
that's the match sword,
I think if they've got the guy who did the Punisher show, it would be madness not to bring it. That probably leads. I'm hoping that tells the story that actually, we're going gritty if we're getting the guy who did the Punisher.
I think the other thing, and I touched upon this last time we were live about 2 weeks ago, it's Feige's name no longer fills me with confidence because, like I said back then, he's also responsible for the bad stuff as well as the good. Like, he has to take the good and the bad.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree with you. I disagree, Fuzzy. I think it's dog shit.
You've upset him.
Yeah, I'm upset, Fuzzy. Okay, guys, let's move on then, because I think, we're never going to know, as Luke said, we're never going to know the full story. I, for one, I'm excited to know that the guy who did the Punisher and all those kind of more action-focused shows is going to be doing some of this, so that kind of makes us a bit excited. But it leads us into a conversation about Daredevil. He's a great character. Efren, I know you were a massive DD fan.
Yeah.
I think he's a phenomenal character. I've read a bit of Daredevil over the years. I wouldn't say I've read him kind of regularly, but I have read a lot of his stuff. You guys fans of Daredevil? I'll start with you, James Mack. You a fan of DD?
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah, I do. Matt Murdock. I like he's like a grounded. I like the whole persona that he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
And he fights for the little guys. It's a bit like, it reminds me a lot of Spider-Man, like as in like it's more. I mean, until obviously Spider-Man gets involved with the Avengers and whatnot and gets into great effects, but I like how grounded it is in terms of like that. I really enjoy like courtroom stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean that's a perfect. I mean, what She-Hulk should have been, Daredevil could delve into that. But yeah, I would love, and I'd absolutely love a Daredevil issue #1 in my collection. But
Yeah.
that's just, I'm not paying silly money for that.
To be honest, James, you can get a DD1 for relatively cheap. It's not the right word, but you can get it. It's probably one of the lower priced of the big.
Yeah, it's an underrated book for sure. But it's
Yeah,
about what, £2,000 or £3,000, maybe. Like,
I can't remember how much I paid for mine. But yeah, it's a nice book. But I hear what you're saying exactly about the whole courtroom thing, because I think some of the best scenes in She-Hulk were the Daredevil and her in court kind of back and forth. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I hated in She-Hulk, where there was that tease where he was in like a hallway, and then she just drops down and just kills them all from that. I was so excited for that, and then it was just like, nah, just.
Yeah. What about the rest of you guys? Fans of Daredevil? James?
Yeah, one of my favorites. I would say probably Spidey, Punisher, Daredevil are my 3 favorite Marvel characters. So yeah, I love the darkness of it. The blind element, I think, is so interesting. Like a disabled superhero, but that has kind of uses it to their advantage in a way. Yeah, the lawyer thing in the courtroom kind of element is great as well. Like, the whole when he loses a case, he'll kind of pursue that himself.
Yeah.
As Daredevil, I think is awesome as well. Yeah, just fantastic. And like the Hell's Kitchen, the grittiness of it. One of the better rogues galleries in comics, I think. Probably I put that in like the top 10. Like I like the kind of Bullseye and Jigsaw and Bushwhacker and all them. So yeah, and so some of the best comic book storylines: Guardian Devil, Born Again, phenomenal. So yeah, definitely top tier.
Perfect segue there, James. Thank you. So if we look at some of his rogues gallery, his characters, he has got a very, very impressive rogues gallery. Some really interesting characters there. Luke, anybody stand out to you, either of his supporting cast or his rogues gallery, that you're particularly drawn to? You're muted, bud.
Yeah, sorry. Just before I go into my favourite Rogues Gallery member, my first introduction to Daredevil, long before even comic books, was the Trial of the Incredible Hulk.
Oh God, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I liked the character from then on. As and I mean that was my first seeing of Thor as well in those little Hulk movies.
Was that the old TV show?
The old TV show
Yeah.
movies. That was a huge part introducing me to these characters. But when it comes to the Rogues Gallery, I always like the one that they stole from Spider-Man, Kingpin.
Kingpin. Yeah.
Like, arguably, Kingpin is now probably more considered to be a Daredevil villain than he is a Spider-Man. Yet it's always originated from that ASM run.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Didn't the Purple Man? He debuted in Daredevil, didn't he? But he was in Jessica Jones. I thought David Tennant was brilliant. in
David
that.
Tennant was amazing in that
absolutely.
role, and
He's
what a
scary.
fantastic villain! Like, if they put him in the MCU, like, amazing.
I loved that, particularly that first season of Jessica Jones, and I just loved the grittiness of how far they went with that, David. I think there's a scene where he says to the guy, you know, put your hand in that blender or something like that, and it's just the thought of someone with that power level is just terrifying.
Like, it's horrendous.
You know?
I would love that power, though.
Of course you would. Yeah. Yeah, very cool, very good. Efren, how about you? You're a big Daredevil fan, so who's your favourite villain? Is there somebody that jumps out that you enjoy seeing DD going up against?
Well, I wouldn't consider her exactly a villain, but she was Daredevil's love interest, and now she's a Daredevil character also. She took up his persona, to me, as Elektra. I really like that character, and I when they first introduced her as, you know, she became Daredevil too when Matt was in jail. I don't know if it's going to work, but I really like her costume and her persona. And she still, you know, has the mantle of Daredevil. I've read the last 2 issues of the new series Daredevil, the reboot, so to speak. And sorry, it's a spoiler, but he's an actual priest right now.
Yeah.
But he's starting to remember that he's Daredevil, and he doesn't want to give up being a priest. You know, he likes that, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, that to me, Elektra, I always like that character. You know, second will be Bullseye. That character's crazy, man. So I like Bullseye a lot.
I see Bullseye is one of my favourite villains. And I thought, I mean, we'll touch on the movie in a bit, but I thought they did quite a good job of him in the movie and in the TV series. That scene where he's in the office, the newspaper office, is superb.
That scene where he flicks the peanut.
On the plane.
Lady.
I love it. That's so good.
Yeah, it's tremendous. Anybody else want to mention any villains before we move on? No?
The owl, I quite like. I just like the design of him, and yeah, I don't know. I've always leaned towards that character for some reason.
I always like Stiltman. So
Still, a good
do you know what?
shout, yeah.
Stiltman is great, and I love that we got him as a Marvel legend, and you could extend his legs because they done the best thing. They made him the Bath figure, the Builder figure, but they put his legs with the ninja, like with the hand ninja. So you obviously, if you army build the ninja, you get more stilts. It was perfect.
That's clever, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it's clever. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. And he was very good in, I think, Marvel Zombies. You see him in that as well. He's very cool in that. Some great villains. Yeah. DD's had some phenomenal stories as well. I know a lot of you guys have read some of them. The original Frank Miller stuff for me is some of the best. I really liked Mark Waid's run on Daredevil a little while ago. I liked how he kind of showed you seeing these radar sensors, but it showed you the kind of the circulatory system of people and things like that. It was really quite an interesting way of putting it. Any stories jump out to any of you guys? James Keegan, you're probably going to say Guardian Devil. I would have thought. I know you're a big fan of that.
My favourite Daredevil story. One of my favourite comic book stories of all time. Just a really great twist. It's hard to predict. Gets to some really dark places at moments as well. And it's like Kevin Smith's kind of, you know, there's some meta commentary in there as well, which I really enjoyed. So yeah, fantastic, I think. Any
other stories jump out to anybody that I want to mention?
For me, it was the most recent run when he was incarcerated for manslaughter, and you know, he didn't hide. You know, he hid his identity. They let him wear his mask, so he didn't show who he was. And the whole Punisher, Daredevil, you know, when they had the hand and the fist, what were they called again?
The hand and the fist.
The hand and the fist, yeah, when they went at it, you know. So I just really, I mean, like I said, he's a street level hero, and that's what drew me to him, you know. Yeah. So I really enjoy this character a lot, you know.
Very cool. Any others from anyone?
Sorry, go on. I was just going to say there's kind of there's an Easter egg in the new Spider-Man game. In the first one, you can find Nelson and Murdoch, like the building with the plaque outside. Yeah. And in the new one, the plaque is gone. And on IGN, they asked the creative director, what's the deal with that? He said, stay tuned. So it's possible we're getting a Daredevil game or DLC featuring him for Spider-Man. So that's really exciting. That comes about.
Interesting.
I'm playing the second game now, and I'm about 29%, 30% through, and there's been nothing for Daredevil, but there's been like a Wong and Doctor Strange reference.
Right. Okay. I'm only 2 or 3 hours in or so. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And I know it's setting up loads of Spider-Man villains, like deep cut ones especially. So looking forward to seeing how they're kind of brought to life in it.
I'm hearing that it's very good. Lots of people are singing its praises, saying it's a fantastic game. But I mean, that would be amazing. A Daredevil game. Have we ever had a proper Daredevil game?
No, there was one in the mid 2000s for PS2 that was like finished, and it got cancelled because all the creative team like were on like methamphetamines and stuff, and it eventually collapsed. There's a really good I think it's Unseen 64. I think has a video on it. It's really good. It's really.
Is
good.
anyone else's for is James froze on his
Yeah,
screen?
I'm frozen on my own
He's
one
just
as well.
he's just staring into my soul at the moment.
It looks like what's behind you. It looks like you've got like bunny ears, like.
All right.
Yeah. No, he has got brilliant. Yeah, very cool. That's interesting. Just wanted to mention just briefly, guys, the Daredevil movie got a lot of grief, a lot of stick. I actually quite like it. I don't think it's a bad movie.
It's not as bad as not as bad as people make out.
No. What are your thoughts on it, guys? Efren, have you seen that one? You muted, bud. Are you muted?
It's like he's doing it on purpose.
We can see you, but I can't hear you.
You're muted, Efren.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Back in the room.
I really enjoyed that movie. I like this one scene where it was raining and he could see Elektra, like the silhouette of her. I thought it was a well done movie. I enjoyed it. So, and who played Foggy was that actor. I'm trying to blank on his name. He's a real famous actor who played Foggy in the movie.
John Favreau.
John Favreau,
Favreau, yeah. So, yeah.
And he played it really well. I thought he was really good in it. And I think, I forget the actors. Is it Michael Clarke? The guy who played Wilson?
Duncan Clark.
Oh, he's
Duncan Clark.
incredible. Yeah,
I mean, he's a beast. He's an absolute beast.
He actually reprised his role in the Spider-Man and the 3D animated series from around then, the MTV one. He's Kingpin in that as well. So he was fantastic in that role. That music when he comes in, because it's so cool.
I think the thing I liked about it most was that I think they got the character right from the opening scene kind of thing, where you saw him in court, and the guy got away through a total kind of farce of the system, as it were. And then you see Daredevil follow him and kind of exacting vengeance on it. I thought that was really nicely done. The costume's not the best, but we are going through the whole leather and, that kind of scene during the time, weren't we? But it's not bad.
Yeah, this is like the beginning of my superhero kind of phase. I fucking love this. And I love the suit. I had the action figure, the Marvel Legend one.
Yeah.
I absolutely just loved it.
This was the beginning of my Jennifer Garner phase.
Yeah.
My phase never ended. And I think, that Bullseye versus Daredevil versus Elektra scene is bloody good. On the rooftops, it's very, very powerful. So, yeah, I think it gets a lot of hate, but I don't think it's bad. I know we've heard that they both may be reprising the roles for the Deadpool movie.
Elektra,
I would like
I
that.
haven't heard about Ben Affleck, but
Ben Affleck apparently was seen on site over. So
fucking love it. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Do we think it's just going to be like cameos, or do you think it's going to be like Deadpool kills the Marvel universe?
I'm hoping it's Deadpool kills the Marvel
Deadpool kills the
universe.
Fox universe. Is basically
The Fox universe.
Yeah, that would be that would be hilarious.
Yeah. Von Hoot, the director's cut is pretty watchable. Theatrical is dog shite. Beg to differ. But yeah, I would love to see both of them in either way. Do you know what I mean? I would like to see Deadpool kills the universe. I don't know if that's what we'll get, because that's a pretty ballsy move if they do let them wipe everybody out. But it would be nice to see them, I think. It would be nice to see them. And then we get this. We get the Daredevil TV show, which I think for the most part is pretty phenomenal. I think it does have some pacing issues at times. I think it drags some episodes. But I think we got in this pretty much a perfect Daredevil show. The Deadpool, Bullseye in later episodes was spot on. The action sequences shot in one kind of take, some of those are just absolutely breathtaking. And we got the Punisher from this, of course, which was just phenomenal. So I'm a big fan of this show. What do you guys think of this? We'll start at the bottom. Efren, we'll work our way up. What did you think of the TV show?
Oh, what you said, it was just, to me, it was, especially season 1, it was just perfect. So I was so happy that they made this series, on Netflix. I know Marvel, got all the rights to all the Marvel to these characters, but I wish Daredevil and most of those characters would have stayed on Netflix. I think they did it a really good service, by having it on Netflix. They weren't like Marvel guys that were doing this, but the gritty realism, you could feel it, in New York City, and just the fight scenes were just so excellent.
Yeah. And Charlie Cox is brilliant. I think he did a superb job on it. Luke, what about yourself?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I came to it quite late. It was, everything had already kind of aired at the time when I was watching through it. Highly recommended by a lot of people. And unfortunately, I watched all of Daredevil before watching the Defenders, not realizing that you had to watch Defenders earlier. So then I was kind of like, oh, now I don't really want to watch Defenders because I already know how it all ended and carried on afterwards. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of lost interest with it after that. But no, I loved the whole Netflix Daredevil era. I do think it's a shame, and much like with the whole Sony Spider-Man thing, I just wish they let things carry on in different formats. Like Disney can take the character back and put him in their thing, but still keep two things running. You're all one company. You can do that. I feel like we lost something when the whole Marvel TV shut down to create the Disney Plus stuff, because Disney Plus is a very different beast.
Yeah, no, I agree. Chris is just saying here that 6 episodes per series would have made every series an absolute classic. I don't think you're wrong, Chris. I think there was a lot of filler in there, and it could have been condensed into a neater package.
6 is a bit short. They were 13 episodes. So
they were 13.
Yeah, you'd want to be on 9.
I think certainly you could, but I would have said the same for Jessica Jones, mind. Maybe it's not season 1, but certainly season 2. It just felt like it was going on and on and on.
Yeah. I never got around to watching season 3.
Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle. Dr. Von Hood, series 1's top tier. Season 2's great when it's Punisher and dull when it's not. Yeah, and season 3 don't really remember. Season 3 I just remember for the bullseye bits, to be perfectly honest. Von Hoot is also saying Defenders was meh. I think I watched the first 2 episodes of Defenders and I didn't watch it. I haven't watched Luke Cage either. James, what did you think of the TV show? James, I was going to say James Mark. Say James Keegan, sorry.
I've never been as excited for a show ever. Like, I remember when Netflix announced we're doing like TV Avengers, we're doing, the gritty characters. I was so hyped, and that first season was absolutely incredible. I think I watched it all in one sitting. I took the day off work and sat there for about 12 hours or something, blasted through the whole thing before anyone could spoil it for me. Absolutely incredible. Like the style of it, the fight sequences, like that hallway fight is up there with the Raid, I think, like in terms of fight choreography and direction. Just loved all the performances, all the characters. It was just cool to see something so dark and kind of fresh in the MCU at that point,
Yeah, very cool. And James Mack, finally yourself, mate.
I really enjoyed season 1. Listen, right, my wife hates superheroes. She like, if I ask her to watch something with me, it would be, do I have to watch this? Daredevil season 1, a little bit of season 2, Jessica Jones. She could sit there and watch them with me, no problem. She was desperate to watch the next episode. So for somebody who is not interested in superheroes, then it just goes to show how good of a quality TV show it actually was.
Yeah. Engaging, I think it had something for everyone, didn't it?
Yeah, it's like someone said earlier. It's gritty, it's down to earth. It's not like so outrageous. It was brilliant. Really loved it.
And I think I can't remember the guy's name. I can't talk about Daredevil without talking about the guy who plays Wilson Fisk in it. What's he called?
Vincent
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio, from Full Metal Jacket. He personifies Wilson Fisk for me in that kind of controlled, business-like attitude, and then every now and then he just totally loses his shit. And when he does, by God, you know, you don't want to be anywhere near the guy.
He made the show for me.
Oh yeah, I think
He
there's
was
that
the
scene.
sole reason for watching the show was to see what Kingpin's doing.
Yeah, there was that scene where I can't remember if it was actually Ben Urchin or another journalist, where he's basically questioned something with his mum or his wife.
Yeah, you found my mum.
Yeah, that was it. You found my mum, and he just goes mental. It's just beautiful. Okay, guys,
Just to go back to the Kingpin, but then obviously he was in Hawkeye series, and I feel like they massively let that character down, because I can't believe how easily Kate Bishop just took him down.
But this is the beauty of it, right? If what I'm saying is true about it all being multiverse, we can wipe that slate clean. Like we can have a proper one in this show.
You see, I kind of thought, not the opposite, but I thought in Daredevil we had basically a beast of a man who was well trained, muscular, and all the rest of it. And then I thought in Hawkeye, they started to pitch it a bit more superhero strength kind of thing. I mean, he was throwing people through walls
He's
and stuff.
enhanced in some way. Yeah, he's not superhuman. Like
you got to think of it. He's somebody that takes on Spider-Man, isn't he? You know, that's the the crux of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Von. He was pitch perfect. The rage was spot on. Yeah. Because you've got to remember, this is a guy who operates in business, becomes a mayor, and all that kind of stuff. So he's got to have. He can't just be a thug, you know.
Yeah, the best scenes were when he was calm and when he was whispering and talking, and like that was captivating. Like to believe that this is the same actor who played the alien in Men in Black is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know. Yeah.
Sugar, water.
Yeah. and I mean, my first memory of him is Full Metal Jacket, where he's playing the guy at the first half of the movie who loses his shit. Don't know if you guys have seen that. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's just pitch perfect. I mean, I love that movie, the first half in particular. Okay, guys, that brings us to the end of our show. I've kept you long enough, an hour 40 minutes, so I thank you for that. Just to mention some of the stuff that we've got coming up on my channel at the moment. So you can get me over on Triple J Comics on YouTube and on Instagram. Please do go and check that out. And also on the One Good Scare Show, which James is going to talk about in a second. Couple of videos on my channel at the moment. I've got The Last of Us conversations with, so that's where myself and James were at the panel presentations by those superb actors, so please check that out. We've got my report on Liverpool Comic Con and all the fun and shenanigans we had there. And then we've got the latest in my Moan About series, where I'm moaning a little bit about collecting action figures and toys, so that's out at the moment. That's right, Fuzzy Gomer Pyle, just an incredible character. And Fuzzy saying Hawkeye Kingpin was almost robotic, I thought. Yeah, it felt very different, didn't it? So that's what's out on my channel at the moment. James, tell me a little bit about this.
Yes, we have a spoiler review for Five Nights at Freddy's. Myself and Peter both went to see it on Thursday, so it came out Wednesday, Friday in America. So it's out now. Go watch the video. It's an interesting conversation. Interesting movie to talk about. And then this was supposed to be yesterday, but we've had kind of some copyright clearance issues with it. But I'll be right back on Trick or Treat. I'm gonna try and get it up tonight. If not, it'll be tomorrow, kind of afternoon, evening. Because I've sent it through like 5 times now. I got a notification halfway through the show that no, it didn't go through. So we'll get that up. Like
there's no hurry. There's no hurry. Be Sunday afternoon viewing for people. I'm sure they'll enjoy it.
Yeah, lazy Sunday.
Yeah. And then next Friday, Friday coming to our live show. Is that right?
Yeah, live show again. So
yeah, good stuff. So looking forward to that. James Mack, what you got coming up on your channel, mate?
So this I've got to do a CGC unboxing for the title of the video is going to be My Wife Won a CGC Giveaway. So I tagged my wife in one of the during, was it San Diego Comic Con or the New York Comic Con?
No, it was New York Comic Con,
wasn't it? Yeah. So they had multiple giveaways during that the course of that con. And every day they were doing a new giveaway, and I tagged my wife in one of them, and she then did a post, and then she won the giveaway. So I've got to unbox that. Which
fantastic! You've been lucky with CGC, haven't you? Won stuff from them before?
I have, yeah.
But she's not giving it to you, right?
Well, here's the thing, Luke. She did say to me, "Oh, you can have it for Christmas." I'm like, "Hang on a second. You've won this. This isn't. I can't."
My wife would rather sell it and keep the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that she has said because of the grade, it's quite valuable. That's all I can say.
Good stuff. Look forward to seeing that one, mate. Luke, what you got coming up on your channel?
Yeah, so I done a little passion project of on my channel of the Universal Monsters. It was completely unplanned. I just kind of fell into it. I had already set up videos for the whole of October, but I really just wanted to do it and get it out there, especially around the October month. So I put it out there. I'm proud of it. It was quite hard, as James is finding here, trying to get footage and put it all, insert it in and not get done with copyrights. There was a section that I was worried that was going to get flagged. Fortunately for me, it didn't, so that's released and it's out there. And it's just basically a rundown of the horror movies throughout the years, the multiple decades that they existed in the medium. So yeah, please do go and give that a watch. It's very spooky, Halloweeny. It's the right type of year for it. And yeah, and then tomorrow, I think tomorrow morning, actually, I've gone back to my normal schedule where I'll be reviewing a retrospect review of George Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
Very cool. Very cool. As is keeping with the theme of the night, me and James watched that video together, sat on each other's knees. It was lovely.
Popcorn.
Yeah, we did. It was a good video, so well done on that one, bud. Yeah. Ephraim, what about yourself, sir? We've got something on Wednesday, haven't we?
We have something on Wednesday. A friend of mine, his name is Kyle. He goes by Nerd2Ween on Instagram. He reached out to me. He did an Ashcan book, and it's on Kickstarter too. It's called Here Walks Monsters. And he asked me if he could come on my channel and, we could talk about his book. And I said, yeah, can I bring, Peter along? Because, he said, yeah. So on Wednesday at 11:30 my time, so it'll be 7:30 over there. We're going to talk with Kyle. And he created this book called Here Walks Monsters, and it's on Kickstarter. I'll put all the information on Tuesday, and all his links when we do the live show on Wednesday at 11:30 my time, 7:30 your time.
Brilliant. Sounds good. Yeah. What else you got coming up, Ephraim? Any videos out this week?
I'm always doing my read of the week, and I want to do a little 1 minute short on Daredevil, just who he is. I'm going to do some other characters every now and then. I like Luke so much. I started looking, God, he does him so well. So I may ask him to produce it for me or something, and I'll just put it on my channel. So you do a really good job on those, Luke. So I really enjoy them. Yeah.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Anything anybody else wants to mention before we move on? No.
We're doing the
good
toy
stuff.
show on Monday.
Yeah. So Monday, the next live show from myself, James, Luke, and dear God help us, Simon, is going to be Let's Talk Toys.
This is my favourite stream. This is my favourite one to do. I genuinely love this so much.
Simon's already stressing us out. So the guys have 5 slides each. So Simon said, "Oh God, that's not enough slides. How am I going to do 5? Please give me more slides." He does know
you can put multiple pictures in one slide. Yeah, he does know.
Please give us more slides. So I said, right. I said, on this occasion, you can have 8 slides instead of 5. He immediately responded to, "Oh, crap, I don't need that many. That's too many. No, I'll have 6." It was like,
every month he gives me back Marvel Legends.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. That's Monday night, 8 p.m, when we're going to be talking about action figures, 1/6 scale figures, smaller scale figures, computer games, video games, whatever you want to call them, all that kind of stuff. So lots of exciting stuff there. Looking forward to that one. And that is your whack. Thank you very much, chaps. It's been a pleasure talking to you all. Always fun to spend time with you guys. And a huge thank you to the chat. We've got 14 people still watching, which is very, very good. Thank you. I had 20 odd at one point, so I do appreciate you all stopping by and watching. And with that, we'll call it a night, and we'll catch you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.